In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to determine the graphs of quadratic functions. An example of a quadratic function would be y equals x minus 1 squared plus 1. The definition of a quadratic function is a polynomial function with one or more variables in which the highest degree term is of the second degree. You can see here that x minus 1 is squared. That means that the highest degree term is of the second degree. We're going to be looking at polynomial functions that are in standard form. This means that the x values go from highest to lowest power. This one is y equals negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 3. To solve for the axis of symmetry, you are going to want to do negative b over 2a. For this problem, you would do negative 4 over 2 times negative 2. This gives you negative 1. If you have your graph here and your axis of symmetry is at 1, you're going to want to draw a dotted line through 1 on the x-axis. Next, you need to find your vertex. We know that the x value is 1 because that's where the axis of symmetry is. To get the y value, you plug in 1 in the equation. So for this equation, 1 squared is 1 times negative 2 is negative 2, plus 4 times 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. You are then going to want to plot your point at 1, 5. Next, you are going to want to make a chart to determine the new values of the equation. So kind of ignore that chart because I kind of messed up on it a little bit, but basically just pick the points and plug them in, and like I did, I graphed them and then I just drew the parabola. This is obviously an approximate graph, so it's not exactly what it would look like, but it would be something very similar to this. The next example that I'm going to use is y equals negative x squared minus 2x plus 3. Just like we started off the last problem, you're going to want to start by finding the axis of symmetry. Again, to do this, you're going to want to do negative b over 2a. For this problem, negative b is 2. 2 times a would be 2 times negative 1. That gets you 2 over negative 2, which turns out to be negative 1. We then know that this is the first point in the vertex, or the x point. To find the next value of that, you just need to plug negative 1 into the equation. When you plug negative 1 back into the equation, you would do negative 1 squared, but then you see there's another negative sign in front, so that becomes negative 1, plus negative 2 times negative 1, which is 2, plus 3. That value turns out to be 4, so that is the y value of your vertex. You are then going to want to draw a graph and graph your vertex. Once you have your vertex graphed, like I do up here on the right, you are then going to want to make a chart similar to this one like I have on the bottom. This is a list of possible x values and their y values when you plug them into the equation. You're then going to pick some of those points and graph them to begin to draw your parabola. I now have some of these points drawn, and next you are going to want to draw your lines just like you would have in a parabola. And that's it. Now you have your final graph for the equation y equals x squared minus 2x plus 3. I really hope this video was helpful. It made it easier for you to understand how to graph quadratic functions or equations. Thank you so much for watching.